Bradley Van Herbst here, owner of Brides, Bumps, and Babies Photography. Another video blog segment here for you all. And I'm really excited about this one because it's something I'm passionate about in wedding photography. And for you wedding couples, it's a first look. And I'm going to give you 3 main keys of why first looks are a really great thing. I understand tradition, not seeing each other before the ceremony, and that's great. But here's why I love them. First of all, you get to design and choreograph a really cool, romantic, special scene. It builds up anticipation, and you get to see each other in a very private setting. And you can also do that with your wedding party watching. I can give you an example of that here in a minute. But we get to design and choreograph a really neat scene where you're holding hands around a door, or you're around a wall, one of you, and you come around, or tap the person on the shoulder, step back and see each other, and maybe have a little bit of a cry and a hug and a laugh. And we capture that all with, for sure, 2 cameras, and very often I have a 3rd shooter, so we get each perspective of their reactions, and then maybe a 3rd camera being wide, and it's like its own little story. So the good news is you get to choreograph this amazing little story and get some amazing photos. So that's kind of the first reason. Number 2, you get what's I call a 2-for-1. And what do you mean by that, Brad? Well, even though you will have seen your partner ahead of the ceremony, it's a 2-for-1. Here's why. You have these beautiful moments. You had it fairly private, but now it's an hour, maybe 2 hours later. You kind of forget that you did that because the nerves are building. You're now at the altar and you're in front of 100 or more people potentially, and here comes your partner down the aisle, and you get goosebumps, and you kind of see each other for the first time again, and the emotions are in full gear in front of your family and friends. So I think you kind of get a 2-for-1. The third point is kind of from a production and event planning point of view, is those darn timelines that tend to be pretty compressed. And if you have a 200-person wedding and a laundry list of combination pictures of family members that you want to knock out, and you haven't seen each other, and you want to get through that whole laundry list and have time for wedding party from both sides and your special couple portraits, sometimes that can be pretty pressing on time. So what we like to do is get the first look done, and then if your family members are there ahead of time before the ceremony, since you've already seen each other, we can knock out some of those combination photos that incorporate both sides of the family. And then after the wedding, there might be a few that we still need to knock out, but it can open up a lot more time to go and do your couples portraits and maybe a few more fun wedding party with the couple portraits as well. So I really love it from that point of view, and it lets you get to the grand entrance on time. So I have a couple of examples that I can share. I'll be putting up photos here as I talk about them, but Jennifer and Mike were a client of mine back in Los Angeles. They got married at the Long Beach Aquarium, but we went outside to do a first look. It's near the harbor, and there's boats, etc., and palm trees, and I think it was like brick. We had them pretty far apart. It might have been like 30 yards apart, and they would each hide behind the stalks of the big tall palm trees, and they had the respective wedding party, the girlies on this side and the guys behind Mike on this side. And then when we had the cameras all set up, we said, okay, 1, 2, 3, go. And they peeked around. It was super cute. Mike did a little wave. And then they had all this time to walk towards each other. Maybe a tear is shed, and they hug and kiss. And we captured it all from this angle, that angle, and I had a 3rd camera wide. So look for those here as I'm talking. And then another example I had was Danielle and Victor, really great clients in the San Francisco Bay Area at a winery, Casa Real at Ruby Hill. And theirs was a little simpler. We just had Victor in front of this really cool set of doors, wood doors, and the building's really cool there at the winery. And Danielle came around this path where there was some greenery and flowers, and then she came up and tapped them on the shoulder. he spun around, looked at her, stepped back to get the full gaze, and I got a little bit of goosebumps. It was really special. And again, on that one, we had 3 cameras as well. So I love first looks. You get to design and choreograph a great scene. You get a 2-for-1, in my opinion, of the first look, seeing each other for the first time, and then you kind of forget and come down the aisle and the nerves are building. So I think you get the 2-for-1 in that respect, and it opens up the timeline, and you'll get more pictures, less effort, or effortlessly, I should say, and it's just a win-win-win. So that's my opinion on first looks. I love them. Consider them. Give us a call to talk about it and see if it works for you and your timeline. See you on the next video blog series. Thanks.